You know, I think for some, and I think especially in 1984, fatherhood can be a very all-consuming process. We don't talk as much about fatherhood, it seems, as we do about motherhood. I'm really glad we're doing this and delighted that we can have you meet a well-known man here in Boston, Bob Woolf, sports attorney, attorney and manager to many people who are on the air, Jim Craig, Carl Yastrzemski, and I just have to say a big week for you with Larry Bird.
Thank you.
You must be feeling terrific.
I'm exhausted, but I'm on top of the world.
Well, I think all of us who felt the Celtic fever on top of the world. And Anne Woolf, Bob's wife, great to see you, Annie. And Gary Woolf. And Tiffany and Stacy, your two daughters, are in school, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Is it all-consuming? Was it ever that way for you, Bob, being a father?
You know, it's such a great thrill. You know, I got married later in life. Like I got married when I was 35 years old, and then the next year I had a baby, and then the very next year I had my son, and then I had another daughter later on, and it was absolutely thrilling for me. And to me, that's the most important thing in life is my family. It's
interesting because a lot of people now are delaying having children and kind of, you know, going through an intellectual process about when they think they're ready. Are you glad you waited?
I waited because I was waiting to meet the right mate.
Well, that
so
helps, yes. And you did. And Anne, what do you think about Bob as a father?
I think we've been very lucky. I think Bob is a great father in the fact that he has incorporated his family in with his work, which is very unusual. Most men maybe just can't do it. But when Bob goes on a trip, he's able to take the family, maybe just one child or whatever, and that's very special. And that's the way we understand what he does and can maybe help him, and maybe he can communicate with us and we can understand it.
Sure, and be a leveler while all of this crazy business is going on. Do you think, Gary, you had enough one-on-one time with your father? Was he consumed enough for that?
There's no question. We spent so much time together. I remember we used to jog together or whatever, play basketball. It's been great. It's never been anything but fun.
What has he taught you?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm learning every day, especially now that I'm working with him in the office and trying to learn as much as I can. And every day I learn so much. I can't believe how smart he is. I never thought he was that smart.
Yes, it's amazing, isn't it?
Unbelievable.
It's a great thrill for me to have my son work in my office. He goes to Harvard, and for the summer he's working in the office. And he started last week, and I made him assistant vice president because I'm trying to bring him along slowly.
Oh, well, that's really good of you, Bob. Yes, teach him this is a struggle in life. Do you drop fatherhood and treat him as an associate in the office? Are you able to do that?
Absolutely. He's a great help, and I just treat him like anybody else.
Gary, one question. Do you agree with Chet, who was saying that bonding is a long process? Do you feel, now that you think your father's so smart, that that's a part of this ongoing closeness?
No question. Yeah, we've gotten closer. Even in the last month, I could say we've become a lot closer.
Have you ever been jealous of the fathering that he has done? Because I don't think very many people know this, but Larry Bird lives next door to you, and you have been a father figure to him and to Jim Craig, and when people need you, you're there. Have you ever been jealous of that?
Not at all, because they become brothers to me, so.
How about role as a father, the hands-on role? I mean, is this only 1984 that fathers now change diapers and actually stay with the baby, or did that happen with Bob?
Bob was one to change. He changed diapers and he fed the babies when they. Now our oldest girl is 20, and then our son is 19. Then we have our 13-year-old, so we had all the different range of ages. But he was always consistent, and I think he enjoyed it.
Since you're probably the only mother that we will have here up on this dais, were you prepared for the sharing? And do you think you helped each other? Do you think you helped Bob in terms of being a father and he with you being a mother? Or did you come prepared because you are a woman more than he?
I don't know really how to answer that. We both had our roles in the family, and Bob was, he was always a very strong father image. I would say this and that, but the final say would be Bob's, really. And I thought that was fine. The important things, when it came down to the very important things, or there was a decision we made, I respect what Bob would feel, and then the discussion. And
well, thank you, Anne. Thank you, Gary. And boy, Assistant Vice President, she's moving up fast. Thanks, Bob. And again, congratulations. Larry Bird must be feeling terrific,
Thank
and
you,
you
and
too.
everybody else is in the city of
I know.
Boston.